Back on the iFan Network, Amsoil Speedway, Superior, Wisconsin, on a beautiful August evening as we get ready for the first of 4 main events here.
4 main events, yes. We've got 25 cars for the Midwest Modified feature going on here now, and that's a big bunch of cars on this racetrack, but it's going to be exciting, no doubt in my mind.
It's a big racetrack. They'll all fit. There'll be room for a lot of racing, but Midwest Modified, very competitive class. There'll be a lot of close quarters racing throughout.
They'll all fit except when they don't. So that's when it gets really exciting.
There are some very in-depth words right there. Wissota Midwest Modified feature, they'll all fit unless they don't. I got to write that one down. Wissota Midwest Modified feature will go 20 laps and it'll look like this. One of those Esty boys on the pole, Mac Esty from Kelly Lake, the younger brother, in the 37 alongside of Dan Wilson, who ran a second place run earlier tonight from Hibbing in the orange 39. Row number 2, it's Brady Call from Fort Francis, Ontario in the 50, and he'll line up alongside the 4L of Kerry LePage from Culver, Minnesota.
Row 3, Brad Severs from Red Lake, and the 29G of Jake Kondik from Foxborough, who's been on a roll here, about 4 or 5 features in the last month or so. Jason Schill from Centuria, and Kevin Monteith from Roslyn, Ontario in the 4th row.
Row 5 to the inside, Don Scholler from Statesville, North Carolina, the former Iron Ranger in the 80D. Dan Kingsley, very fast runner from Superior in the 68K alongside. Row 6 down low, the orange 13 car of Chris Redding from Washburn, Wisconsin. He's alongside Devin Van House from Silver Bay, Minnesota in the 17.
And the 7th row, Cody Carlson from Superior and Jeff Klopstein from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. David Simpson and Don Craig from both from Thunder Bay, Ontario, make up the 8th row.
Mid-mod rookie Tyler Vernon from Ashland, the 40 junior, and Josh Haverland from Cloquet, the 2J, making up row number 9. Down low in row 10, it's Andrew Inman from Hermantown, the 11 junior, alongside Cal Matuska from Stacy in the 43.
Justin Foxborough, Alan Golden from Cambridge, Norm Anderson, Rob Marantio, and Skeeter Esty make out the rest of the field as we're underway.
Mac Esty, the early advantage ahead of Wilson and Call. Coming off a turn 4, 1 lap of the book. Schill holding down the 5th spot. And then Gondik up to 6th quickly. Down the back, she's springing out just a bit. Mac Esty continuing to lead the way and actually gaining some ground on Dan Wilson. A lot of racing going on mid-pack as you can see Midwest Modified, very competitive, a lot of very evenly matched cars. And despite the size of the field, Jerry, incident-free for the first 3 laps. At least I'm hoping so until they get to the flag stand here. Mac Esty continuing to pull away. Battle for 3rd spot right now. Jason Schill, the bright yellow number 11 to the inside, got a little sideways, and then's got it. Gondik had to check up down low in that black 29G car. So actually getting a little tight down there. And now Gondik sideways, and a lot of cars collected in turn number 2. Jake Gondik run was challenging for 4th, running in that top 5 very solidly. He gets sideways in turn number 2. He will collect the 4L of Kerry LePage, who had fell back a couple of notches. The other car in the mix, the 21 junior of Jeff Klopstein from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. So top 5 runner Jake Gondik getting around in turn 2, and that brings out the first caution of the race with 16 laps to go.
We've got a heck of a race going on here.
Here you go.
Here's our replay, and
Gondik just disappearing out of the picture to the right. He'll come back into view in just a moment. There he is, already sideways and collecting LePage and Klopstein.
It looks like he stopped, more or less, caught something and stopped in front of him, more or less, and they collected both of them. So we'll see who can continue and who's going to be the first DNF of the race.
Klopstein is underway under his own power. In fact, just rolling through turn 4 right now, but some damage to the front end of that 21 junior ride. as you see the safety crews down there, hoping to take the 29G of Gondik and the 4L of LePage, kind of pull them apart a little bit. Hopefully,
they can really get stuck together in a situation like that. And
you get the open fenders there where tires can get connected, bars can get connected. It gets a little bit.
I call that high-speed welding.
There's Klopstein's 21 junior as he's up at the top of turn 2 and down the back chute. The bent nose piece there, but outside of that, looking like the car is going to be able to roll under its own power. As a matter of fact, he'll crawl his way through the field and get reassigned his starting position. Maybe some damage to the left front on that 21 junior. We'll keep an eye on that.
I see Alan Goldman's number 22 is the right rear fender torn off it also. Probably from a separate incident.
Some extracurriculars deep in the field. There is so much action to keep track of. The 25-car feature on a 4/10 oval. It is just almost impossible to keep track of all of it. You've got to keep your head on a swivel when you're here in the grandstands at all times. You never know what you might see or miss. What a beautiful, beautiful August evening here in Superior, Wisconsin. Gorgeous weather.
It is that. I see our big air conditioner is keeping the temperature down a little bit. The flags are showing that we're getting a nice east wind off the lake. So
it's not so bad in August. We get to January, we're not going to.
Yeah, luckily we have a door in our booth now. There was damage done to the complex done over the last fall. Yeah. All the windows were broken out of the announcer's tower and the doors of the places like this. But we now have a window in our door which is keeping us comfortable.
They're spoiling us here. Mac Estee is going to be your leader when we get this one refired with 16 laps remaining.
There's a look at the fans, some of them in the sunshine even.
Enjoying the beautiful early August weather here at Amsoil Speedway. Still t-shirt weather. We hope that's going to be that way for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, yes, we do. But you know, what are the chances of that?
Well, we're crossing our fingers.
Especially in this part of the country.
And you know, earlier we talked about how the weather looked a little bit shaky early in the day. And of course, it affected track preparation and things like that. Another thing it affected, or we were afraid it might affect, is the crowd. But the crowd has really come out and filled this place up pretty nicely this evening. A lot better than what it initially looked like it was going to turn out to be.
Yeah, we have a nice crowd here, and would you believe they're all driving away from the incident?
Interesting. So not enough significant damage to knock anyone out of the event. Now we'll just,
well,
we can see coming off of turn 4 here, if the camera can catch him coming under the flag stand headed for turn 1. Kerry LePage's 4 car, if you see the left front on that car, a little bit of a little camber issue with the 4 on the left front. Some damage to the left front suspension on that car, so we'll keep an eye on that. He looks like he's going to get his position back toward the front of the field.
It looks as though Gondik is rolling also, and probably going to end up at the back of the bus. So he's going to have some work to do.
So the way the field will realign here with 16 to go. Mac Estee in that black and red, or black and green number 37 at the point. He's led since the get-go from the pole. Dan Wilson was running second in that orange number 39. He will have his lane choice in the Delaware double file restart. And alongside of him should be Brady Cole now in the 50 ride. It'll just be a matter of whether or not Wilson chooses for inside or outside of row number 2.
And all cars are, according to my fingers and toes, plus extras, are on the racetrack. So that's a positive thing.
All 25 starters. There you see Jason Schill from Centuria, Wisconsin, the 11X ride. Brightly colored car. Dan Kingsley in the 68K will be lining up alongside of him. That's your 4th and 5th place runners.
Okay, here's the way they do things. You wonder why they're going single file now. It's the scorers are reading the transponders on the computer,
right,
are looking to see where they belong in the lineup. They want them all single file, and then they will tell them what position they're going to be in for the restart.
We got a little extra something hanging off the back of that one.
That's the quarter panel is.
That's Al Bowman.
Come adrift. Yeah, that would be Bowman.
In the 22 from Cambridge, Minnesota. And they're going to have to send him to the pits to have that removed. That's hanging on by basically a tin strap.
There'll be somebody up there. Yep, there's somebody up there at the top of the.
So they'll see if they can't
get
it
off. Well, maybe not.
I don't know if they're going to send him around to come in, or if they're just going to tell him to continue on. I wouldn't understand why they would tell him to continue on, but he may have to make his way around and go to the safety area. There is a repair area just off of the turn 2 pit exit where the drivers are allowed to go while under caution. Bowman hustling now to see if he can get up there.
At the work area, they'll try and it's being held on by the. He's actually staying out on the track, so
interesting.
Maybe they're going to let him run with that there. So we'll see what happens.
So we'll see where he lines. Yep, he's into position now. So, and as the field double files behind Mac Esty, again, we'll reset the lineup. Esty in that black and green 37. Dan Wilson opting for the inside of row number 2 in the orange 39. And alongside of him, Brady Call from Fort Francis, Ontario, in the white and 50 with the red and gold trim.
That's going to come adrift pretty soon.
And now Mac Esty stopping in turn number 3, and a shock absorber has fallen off of a car, and I'm not sure if that's off. I think Esty is just pointing that out to the safety crews is what that is. Hey, there's a shock on the track. We need to get that off there. Esty being at the front of the field, of course, seeing that stuff before everybody else runs it over. So he stops alongside of it. Safety crew comes over and picks it up. Nicely done by the young man from Kelly Lake. Good show of sportsmanship.
Now, can I say that was shocking? I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't if I were you.
Okay. I won't.
That's Jerry's line, actually.
Yeah, it's actually too obvious.
Yeah.
Captain Obvious here.
Oh.
Well, I've been known as the human tangent. I believe Nick is the one that gave me that name. So
Esty will weave his way back to the front. Back to the front. I've always liked that phrase. And of course, we'll reassume his spot at the point to set the pace for the restart. As we mentioned, Wilson and Call in row number 2. Wilson scored in second. Schill restarting in 4th in that 11X alongside of Kingsley in the 68K. And the caution lights are down, so we're going to get this back underway in just a moment. Now we've got Andrew Inman down the front straightaway in his 11 junior car is signaling for some assistance. Not sure if he sees something. Apparently it isn't too significant. He's decided to put his hand back on the wheel, and we'll get going again. Row 4, that's the 6th and 7th place cars of Kerry LePage, the 4L, and Jeff Klopstein, the 21 junior. We'll watch those two as well, as they were involved in that incident involving, or I guess instigated by the spin by Jake Gondik.
Let's see if Jake Gondik, starting 25th and 25, is going to be able to make his way up to a respectable finish. We'll see what happens.
Well, if it stays green, he may not have as much of an opportunity if he gets some yellow flag assistance. But Gondik, as you said, has been very strong in recent weeks, both here and in Proctor. And now the caution lights back on again, as there's still some
that's what they're going to do. They
concerns, and they are going to get,
And there's there's our friend Dennis out there jumping on that quarter panel and taking it off.
Popping a rivet with a PF flyer there.
Yes.
Tin remover. All right.
Off we go.
So Bowman will get back into position, and now the field will reset.